There we go. Okay, so I think before you had the option there of the searches, didn't you, before?
Yes.
And the
And it's this
TM
one, I
group.
think.
Yeah. So let's have a look what this looks like. And you said that the packs are now showing on the left-hand side when we get through, which is good as well.
Mm.
There we go. Right. So let's click next. There we click yes. Okay, so let me just have a look at these packs. So you've got the official pack, including chance liability insurance, and then you've got the Matthew Waite search pack. Okay. Okay, could we try something if possible, please? Could we just tick the chancel repair policy and then click next? I just want to see what happens. Ah, perfect. Okay, so let me just have a look at this. So this says, "Could not be submitted because it's missing." So title number, okay. Type of document. And then can you scroll down for me? Sorry, on the right-hand side. There we go. I'm just making sure that all of that matches the details that we've got on TM. And then can you just scroll a little bit more for me? Thank you.
Looks to me on TM side.
Yes, and could you scroll up to the top again? Sorry for me. Thank you. And it says that the assumption's been met. Okay, perfect. So if you just click cancel for me for now, because I just want to make sure we don't put anything through. Oh, that's fine. That's just saying it can't process it, but we've cancelled it anyway, so that's not a problem. So that's all showing fine, which is great. I think the only thing that we've been made aware of at the moment by the team at Redbrick is that the first tick box on the insurance policy says have the assumptions, basically, can you meet the assumptions that have been stated? So at the moment, they said that that's the only part that isn't pulling through. And I think they basically said that whenever they do sort of the next upgrade, which once that's been done, it should pull it straight through onto the system. But for the time being, if you go back to searches again for me, please, Holly, and then, yeah, we'll follow that same route. So any other searches that you order should be absolutely fine. I just think with the insurance policy, it's a bit more where it requires a bit more sort of upfront information to get it submitted. That's sort of what's taken the time, I think. So if we click no again, and then click next, and then if we click no again now, sorry, and then click next, that should take you straight into the case. There we go. Now, if we scroll down and just select the chance repair policy on at the bottom, please, thank you, and then click next at the top left. There we go. So yeah, the only thing that isn't showing at the moment is these bullet points here. So with these assumptions, so the fact that it's a static product means that those assumptions will be the same sort of every time for this policy. So what you may wish to do is, if you wanted to, you can still get these from TM. You could take a screenshot of these until that upgrade's been done, so that you know what those assumptions are that you're ticking. So the functionality underneath should be exactly the same that's pulling through to Redbrick. It's just this first box of bullet points that isn't showing at the moment. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we have something similar on our existing search company that we just tick those, so that's fine.
Perfect. So yeah, like I said, you've got the ability to tick. It's just if you wanted to sort of a reminder of what it is that you're ticking towards, it's these things, but it's these assumptions. But like I said, because they won't change, and it's a static product, you can screenshot that until that upgrade's been done, if that's okay.
Yeah, we'll do that. That's fine. Thank you.
Excellent. So just sort of rewinding a bit. Obviously, I know that when we did the session before, when we had, I know that you very kindly had the test case set up, and we had all your colleagues on the session as well. We went through sort of the order process, and we went through sort of a tmConvey demo as well to show sort of what that order process looks like. Is there any of that you feel that you'd benefit from a reminder of, or do you feel quite comfortable with that process?
I think that's fine. The only thing we were sort of not quite sure about is we've got quite a lot of commercial properties that aren't on Redbrick. We still just have them as files on the computer. And I think we talked about setting up like a login so that we can do those separately without using Redbrick.
Okay, so still order. So would this be still ordered via the same account, but it just wouldn't be recorded on Redbrick, or would this be via?
Right.
Okay.
I think you said there was some sort of way to access the portal, maybe make a login detail or something for TM, just so we can do it for those ones.
There absolutely is, yeah. So you can absolutely log into the system directly without going via the Redbrick integration. I'm just thinking from a billing point of view. Obviously, we bill Redbrick and then they liaise with yourselves. But if it's a file that isn't a Redbrick file, I'm just wondering whether it should go via that route or via a separate account. I don't know if that's been picked up with you, Chloe, or not.
No, it hasn't, but I can certainly ask the question, and yeah, I can send you guys some login details, because I don't see any issue with them doing that kind of direct on the Convey platform. I think, is there any commercial packs that you wanted to be set up in the system, or do you kind of select on like an ad hoc basis for commercial?
Yeah, we do have packs as well. So yes, please, if we'd be able to set up a pack, that'd be brilliant. It's all the same things really. So it's the commercial, local search, commercial drainage. But I can send you through a copy of our pack that we have at the moment, if that would help.
Yeah, if that would be helpful, just so make sure we have the right thing set up for you guys, and we can look at setting that up, and then me and Josh can figure out how the billing side works in the meantime.
Yeah, absolutely. And it certainly won't be a problem either way, Holly. It'll just be either, do you want to do it as per your existing account where it links back into Redbrick, in which case absolutely fine, or if it's sort of completely detached from Redbrick and it's just commercial on a separate account and Redbrick aren't involved anywhere in the process, we would simply just set up a sort of a new account where you'd have separate user credentials. But either way, you'd still be going via tmConvey and you'd still have that access. It's just whether they sit under the one or two separate.
I can't imagine there'd be an issue with either, to be honest. But yeah, however that works best, it'd be brilliant.
Perfect. And like we said, the functionality is the same. So if you're comfortable with the tmConvey process that we went through previously, then it would look exactly the same on whether it be a separate account or not. The only stage that would be sort of new would be the actually creating the case, because at the moment it's created in Redbrick and then pulled through. Whereas if it was an individual account, you'd have to create that. But again, myself, Chloe, can go through that with you, and it's fairly self-explanatory, so that should be okay. Oh, sorry, you cut out slightly, Holly.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, perfect. Okay. So yeah, obviously, like I said, we can take that away separately. That's not a problem. I'm sure Chloe will reach out to yourselves and get that arranged. So that's really not a problem at all. But in terms of the Redbrick integration side of things, obviously we've gone through the process. You've got the drop down now. You've got the packs showing, which will pull through all of the different products. Actually, the only thing that is a slight minor at the moment is those assumptions pulling through. But again, there's ways around that where you can access them via Convey. You can take a screenshot, or obviously they'll be there sort of post the next update. So really, Holly, I guess it's if you've got any questions at all, or if there's anything that, like I said, would be a useful reminder or something you're still not comfortable with. Was there anything at all?
I think the only slight thing was perhaps if we were to not use the mapping, if we had to change the plan in any way, is it possible to sort of have a reminder of how we do that, please?
Yeah, of course. So just sort of like plan amendments and things like that?
Yes, please.
Yeah, absolutely fine. No problem. What I'll do is let me just quickly log in under your account. Obviously I won't go via Redbrick, but it'll look exactly the same. So let me just do that, and then I'll share my screen with you, Holly. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Lovely. I did actually have this set up earlier, but the system timed out while we were talking, so I've just had to re-log in. So let's log in as yourself. And forgive me for looking up here, but I'm going to share this screen up here. So there we go. So if I'm just going to create a test case a second, and actually we could use this as a demo of how to create a case while we're at it. So, kill two birds with one stone. So if you were in the UI and it wasn't going via Redbrick and you wanted to create a case, then you could just simply create it like this. So I'm just going to create a random case now, and I'll do it on, we'll pretend it's on a commercial basis, but again, whether it's commercial or residential, the functionality I'm going to show you is going to be exactly the same, Holly. So let's just select the primary school here. We'll put in test commercial reference, and we'll call it commercial. Let's call it commercial purchase. And then click next. So this is let's confirm that location. There we go. So this is the pop-up window that you'll get in Redbrick. Holly, does that look familiar from our first session?
Yeah, that looks good.
Excellent. So like I said, whether it's commercial or residential, obviously if it's residential, it'll be a lot smaller area we're looking at. But let's just use this for a commercial example. So let's say that as well as this is mostly right, but you also want to include this part of land as well. Then what you can do is you can either select draw outline and draw the area itself. So I'm just going to add to what's already there. So I might just, let me zoom in. There we go. I'll try and be fairly rough and quick with it, but OCD does kick in sometimes. So let's just do this and you get a rough gist, and then I can show you the edit function where we drag and drop afterwards. So yeah, let's just give you a quick gist. But as you can see, it's just a drag and drop exercise where you draw the outlines you need. I'm just going to overlap with this red one because we're just adding it to an existing outline. So, and then click at the end, and that creates an outline. So whether it's just a small residential property or a larger area, the draw outline function is just very simply dragging and dropping around the extent that you need. And then if you wanted to, let's now get rid of the in fact no, we'll do edit outline first. So if you've drawn an outline you think, yeah, that's mostly right, but I want to sort of manipulate the shape, then what you can do is just simply click on edit, click on the shape itself, and then it's just a case of dragging and dropping. So when it's in blue, it means it's in edit mode, and then as you can see, just move it and drag it to wherever you want to drag it to. So that's just a case of sort of manipulating the shape to whatever you want it to be. With commercial areas in particular, with residential, you wouldn't get this issue because they're normally obviously smaller properties. Whereas with commercial, if we were to delete this outline, if you had an auto-generated outline like this one here, obviously I didn't plot this, it was based on the title number, and you wanted to cover this area, you could edit and sort of drag and drop like this. But depending on how many separate points there are, it might just be easier to draw it from scratch like we just did. Yeah, but again, as long as you're coming to the same end goal of this is what I want the map to be, whether you edit it or whether you see what I mean? There's loads of separate points there. So whether you edit it or whether you draw it manually, it's completely up to you. But that's the basic functionality of you either drag it and drop it yourself, or you use what's been auto-generated to manipulate and do whatever you need to with the shape.
Yeah, brilliant.
So if we then delete that again, we've deleted the whole thing now, but if we wanted to do auto outline, which again, this works really effectively with residential properties, and this is where you just basically select a shape and it will block outline that shape. So if we went down here to a residential property, you can see it's just a case of front garden, back garden, and the property itself, and it's a really easy, you do that in 4 clicks, and then you click merge visible, because when you merge it, it creates a single red outline, whereas you obviously don't want them as separate red extents within one. So again, you can use the auto outline for commercials as well if you were doing commercial searches, but depending on the area, it might not be. I mean, these are quite block shapey anyway, so it's okay. But depending on if it was an area of land, for example, that doesn't really follow much, then you probably rather manually draw that than block shape. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. So that's the real main functionality that you've got. It's draw outline, which is it's freehand, dragging and dropping as you go, and just clicking as you're changing direction. Auto outline, which is the block shapes, and again that will just work better on some times more than others, depending on the outline itself. And then edit outline just allows you to manipulate that shape and move it around. One thing to make you just just as a reminder, is that you can't click save plan if you're in edit mode. So if you're ever in edit mode and you think, oh, why can't I save that? You just need to come out of edit and then it'll allow you to save it. And then merge visible just allows you to merge the all visible outlines together into a single red outline. And then throughout that, you've got additional functionality like aerial imagery. So if it's easier to do it with more like a Google Map view, you can. It will always save it in the OS map view, but this just, again, it's additional functionality should you wish to use it.
Indeed.
So that's sort of the main sort of plan amendments that you'll be making. Like I said, everything you can see from this corner here, this big square of all this mapping data on, this is exactly replicated within that Redbrick window. So you've got the exact same functionalities here. You've even got things like the data layers where you can look at, the local boundaries. You can look at listed buildings, land registry data. Did we go through that on the original call?
I don't think so.
Okay, so just to sort of touch upon this, data layers are basically free to use layers that you can overlap onto the map at any point should you wish to, and it's things like so if we click land registry freehold, and you can see that it overlaps the layer of freehold data on top of that, so you can see where sort of each of them the boundaries sit and what the title numbers are. You've got things like highways, where if you clicked on a road, so let's click on Dorking Way, and then it gives you the status of that road. So it's not instead of a highway search, but it's free to use data should you find that useful. And listed buildings, I think I touched upon just there. Now, using my brain in the local area, I don't know if there's a listed building nearby, but what it will do, whilst I'm talking, I'll scan the area, but it'll have a little sort of a logo. It almost looks like a bit of like a pause button. And when you click on it, it gives you a little bit of information, but then it gives you a link to Historic England. So again, you can use that to sort of find out further information. It just so happens that I can't find any in the surrounding area, which is a shame. But like I said, you'll know it when you see it. It's basically just a small little logo, and then when you click on it, it will show similarly to like the highways does here. It comes up in a little box, and then it'll just have a hyperlink there where you can see. It takes you to Historic England. I'm not giving up, but I think it's time to probably give up. You get you
that's fine.
You get the gist of what it looks like. So yeah, they're optional extras that you can use on the system should you wish to, but and all of that functionality is available within Redbrick, within that pop-up window. Whether you choose to use it is completely up to you, but it's there and it's available should you wish to.
Brilliant.
So let's just do finish and exit and save. You can either do finish and exit and then save, or just click save plan. This will come up with a load of red outlines that we were just block shaping. But once you're happy with this plan, you'll click save, and that'll be the one that's used for the searches. And again, that functionality is the same in Redbrick. You need to make sure that once you've amended the plan, you click that save button, and then before going to the next page, you click at the bottom, have any alterations been made and saved, and then you click yes, and then it imports whatever plan you just amended and saved into Redbrick, and it will use that for the searches. Is that all right, Holly?
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you.
Excellent. And then the only additional functionality really in here that you haven't got within Redbrick, because obviously it drives that behavior of using the digital plan, is if there were examples where you did want to upload your own plan. So if you were doing a plot, for example, and it's easier to do it on using the plot plan rather than digitally marking up the plan, that's fine, but you need to come into this part of the system, click upload a plan, and then select plan image, which just takes you into your documents or your desktop or whatever it is on your PC, and then you just upload it onto the system.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Excellent. And then when that does happen, if you've got that as well as a digital plan, you just want to remember to click set as default, because it just means that any searches that can use your plan will use your plan.
Okay. Yeah.
Excellent. And then from here you click next, and then as we showed on the first session, you're into the searches list then, so it's just following that same process that we went through before.
Okay.
Does that all seem okay, Holly? Is there anything else
Yeah.
that you think might be useful to go over again?
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. We'll start using it and see how we get on. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Well, what I'll do is I'll share the recording with you, and obviously, if any of the team need a refresher, we can absolutely get that booked in. I know Chloe is going to touch upon the whole sort of moving forward and the search side, and sort of when we can expect to see that. But obviously, we can monitor that as that comes through. But yeah, obviously, if you've got any questions, please let us know. But yeah, I'll quickly hand over to you, Chloe, if that's all right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I think you just touch base there, Holly, that you're going to kind of start using it this way and see how you get on. But so yeah, if you need anything, just reach out to us, or if the team, like Josh said, needs a refresher or anything. I'm sure it's pretty much straightforward, and you've probably got it ingrained into your brain now. And obviously Josh will send the recording over. But yeah, if you do need anything, do shout. The only other thing that I was going to mention on a commercial basis, if you do ever have kind of large areas that are multiple title numbers, and you need some help kind of mapping them, the team are more than happy to kind of pick that up for you and make a composite plan, if you like, for you guys, create that on the system, because we know it can be quite time consuming sometimes. So I'm more than happy to pick that up for you.
Oh, thank you. We do often have that, so that would actually be really useful. I'll pass that on. Thank you.
Perfect. I can also, if something that you come across quite often, we can show you our map search facility as well, where we would often kind of do it for you there. So if it's something that you're coming across and you'd actually like to know how to do it as a team, then we can do a session on that, which will only take about 15 minutes, but I'm happy to show you guys.
Thank you very much.
It's okay.
Lovely.
But yeah, no, let us know how you get on. Doing it the new way. Hopefully there's no more hurdles we come across, and everything's okay.
Yeah, hopefully that should be a lot smoother now that obviously it's got all of that stuff pulling through for the insurance product, should you wish to select it. Obviously, if you've got any feedback, please let us know, Holly. But like Chloe said, hopefully it'll be smooth sailing, and if you've got any questions, just reach out to us.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you for all your time chasing this and all the meetings.
Yeah, no problem at all. Thanks, Holly.
Thanks for your time, Holly. Take care.
Take care.
Take care.
Cheers. Bye-bye.